Muy buenos días, queridos amigos de Español para Profesiones. Mi nombre es Rey Andújar, soy su profesor, espero que estén bien. Estamos terminando la semana 6, hoy es viernes, y nos estamos poniendo al día. We're catching up with ourselves, basically, so you have an idea of where we are right now. We understand that we were behind, we left that in the past. Now we have information in Blackboard up to week 5, right? The information that we have there is up to week 5. The discussion board is updated. I did that today, Friday, to give you some work for the weekend. It's not much, and it's actually very fun. We are working about our communities, nuestras comunidades. And nuestra primera comunidad, our first community, is our family. So coming from what the information that you have behind, right? Adjectives and describing yourself and others, describing places, etc. Now you're going into describing also your family. So the way that we've been working and the way that we're gonna do this is that we're always gonna have some cultural aspect of Spanish and the grammar part of Spanish. So what you're gonna see in the new forum that has been posted on the discussion board is information, basically grammar information about the family, which is like the central unit for every society. So you're gonna have, your mom, your dad, and your relatives. So I gave you information there related to grammar on how to describe those. I just want to make a couple of important points here regarding that. We've been talking about accents. Now, when you're talking in informal way, you're gonna say mother, you're gonna say madre, and if you say father, you're gonna say padre. Now there is a informal way also to call mom and dad, which is mom, mama, dad, papa. Now gotta be careful because that final a at the end needs to have an accent on top. So you gotta recognize that. Why? Because if you say papa, you're saying potato. Papa is potato. Now, papa is papa, is dad. The same with mom. Mama is basically when you suck, right? The sucking, the action to suck. It's mamar, no? But when you say mama, you put in the accent on top, it's mom. So we got it. Those are little things that we got to, our words are very popular, and we got to be careful when we read them, when we pronounce them, and when we write them. Again, when you are referring to mom and dad in Spanish, you don't say mama, you have to say mama. You got to put emphasis on the last A. Same with papa. Then also one more thing with that. There's localisms in Spanish. So for example, in Mexico, something that is padre, eso está padre, it means that that's very cool. It's not totally, because you're always gonna be speaking, and you're always gonna be speaking in context. So depending on the context, you're gonna know what's going on. But just I thought that it was cool to let you know that, especially since the Spanish that we speak in the United States is mainly a Mexican Spanish. So when you say, esto está padre, esto está muy padre, you might be saying, that's very cool. One last thing about grammar, which you're gonna find in your discussion board when we're talking about this, is that when you talk about your family, you wanna be using possessive adjectives. I'm gonna be posting some information of possessive adjectives on course content, so you have it for you. What is possessive adjective? So you're saying yo es mío, right? Tú, tuyo, o él o ella sería suyo, nosotros sería nuestro. So if I'm talking about my mom, I'm gonna be talking about mi madre, tu padre, su abuela, nuestros amigos. So just make sure that you refresh on your possessive adjectives. Again, I'm going to be posting some possessive adjectives information in course content. Make sure that you revise that, because you're going to need that in order to describe your family. How? Mi padre trabaja en un banco. My father works in a bank. that way, okay? So that's what you have right there, and what we are looking for now. So what we'll be looking for next week. Next week, we're going to be talking a little about cultural nuances about family. We're going to be posting the works for week 6 and 7, so that will put us in a very good position, like catching up. And we're going to, 2 more things. We're going to give information about how we're going to evaluate the course, assignments and quizzes, and final, of course. And we're gonna finish setting up our brief conversations. This week, I was able to already talk with some of you. Some of you already have texted me setting dates for next week. My goal, right now, those meetings are individually and they last 15 to 20 minutes. It's getting to know yourself, seeing what you specifically need to work on and what you want to practice. Eventually, towards the end of the semester, of the third part of the semester, we're gonna be having these meetings in group pods. Like, I'm gonna get 3 students, we get together, we practice together, and it will be easy for everybody. Again, those practices are not 100% required, but they work a lot, because for some of you, you have specific needs in regards to practice the language in conversational Spanish, and they are really good. Remember that my phone number is 630-605-5427. You can send me an email, but I'm easier to reach via text, and then we can set up these things. Or if you need to change a meeting that we already have, etc. De nuevo, mi nombre es Ray Andújar. Espero que tengan un buen fin de semana. Muchas gracias por su paciencia. Gracias por trabajar en el discussion board y nos vemos la semana próxima. Que tengan un buen día.